Hello, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your friend Kevin, and this is your Divine Daily Blast. I do have to say, I am having a challenging time this morning focusing. In fact, I've sort of had a little bit of a kiki all week long with I can't really seem to be able to focus. But let's get right to it. According to Yasmin Boland's moonology for today, the moon is in Aries, communicated Mercury races into fiery Aries and is then joined by the moon. Today brings lots of opportunities to speak up for yourself, but don't say anything you'll regret later. It's interesting. I find that fascinating. Speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself, put your boundaries down, say what's on your mind, speak your truth, all of those things, but don't say anything you're going to regret later. Really? That's interesting. Moving on. Everything I want is already on its way to me. This is really a good manifestation statement. Everything you want, everything you need has already been lined up for you. Your doubts, your fears, your I don't think so is stopping it. Florence Scovel Shinn has a YouTube channel. Now, Florence Scovel Shinn was born in the late 1800s. She was an artist that later penned a book. I'm going to screw up the title, Living Life or something, or How to Live It. Life and How to Live It, or how to something like that. Anyway, she died in the 1940s. It is fascinating to me that here we are in 2026, some 70, 80 years later, and the woman has a YouTube channel. Really? And I don't know whose voice it is. Has quite a lovely lilting accent on the voice. And so, of course, I really feel like this is mucking around in AI. Somebody has taken a voice and somebody has taken some of Florence Scovel Shinn's work and fashioned it into a daily video, which I like. However, her manifestation messages are all about ordering up what you want, but not stepping in your own way right afterwards. The doubts, the fears, the saying statements of, I don't think so, I'm not sure. It's the feeling. If you're not feeling confident that everything you want is already on the way, you can't get it. If everything you want is coming, and it's coming, and it's coming, but you shut the door on it because you doubt it's possible, it's not coming. Because this has been the big experience. The not coming, the disappointment, the expectation that didn't happen has been the narrative, which is why we find ourselves trying to open that door. It's a very simple door to open. Humans have a lovely way of complicating everything. Spirit has a way of, we haven't got time for this. Let's just get right to it. The other one I like, all is well. If anything and everything you said is all is well, leave it, let it go. All is well, done. My lift is a gift I am happy to share. What are you lifting? What are you gifting? And what do you want to share? Just share it. We got the Earth Angel with us this week. Learning is in the happening. Learn in every single moment you can get. Learn, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling? Where's it coming from? Don't overanalyze, just learn. Learn about yourself first. Be curious about other people second. We've got an angel numerology number 2 day today, all about, I call this diplomacy, because we do have to watch our negative thinking. It works with the 8 of Swords in tarot, or 8 of air, depending on what deck you're using. Pull out the wise counselor, work with Archangel Jophiel and Archangel Raguel. Go gently and harmoniously forward about your business today. Try to be as supportive and considerate as you possibly can. Above all, be loving and sensitive to yourself. The number 2 also focuses on relationships. Make an effort to nurture all of the relationships in your life. Seek balance wherever possible. Look for the areas where you might be out of balance. whether it's work, your personal life, any of that stuff. And trust your intuition. The number 2 is a very intuitive number. Like we have 2 feet, hopefully. I was thinking this morning that a bird cannot fly with one wing. That's why they give them 2. It's for balance. That balance. Where is my fear? Where is my love? How do I balance the 2? Here's a message from Archangel Ariel. I am the lioness of God, archangel of strength and courage. Call upon me for self-confidence to fearlessly face any situation. Like when you get a bill that comes in or you get a situation that pops up that you were not expecting. Rather than go into a tizzy or a frenzy or oh my goodness and that kind of reaction, just say thank you. Thank you for taking care of this. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Thank you for placing this at my door. When the time comes, I'll have everything I need to take care of this. And then you let that go. That's how simple it is. The doubt, the fear, those who say it's ridiculous, how could you be that simple? Well, they've still got their lessons to learn. I did it. I went through that. The tunnel of doubt. There was no tunnel. There was no doubt. It all worked out in the end. Everything seems to work out the way it's supposed to. The affirmation for today is I stand in my power and courage. I embrace limitless possibilities that await me. They are limitless. When something doesn't work, you can identify it pretty quickly because you don't feel good about it. Your intuition is what you come into the world with. You intuitively know who your mother is. That's why I think when babies are born now, wasn't always like that. Hospitals, doctors, midwives tell about the importance of skin-to-skin contact. Now, I was born in the early 60s. There was that going on, not very often, but they didn't talk in these terms. Many babies born earlier than that, particularly if you were of nobility, the babies were removed very quickly. Mum had to rest and recover. When the baby went stay somewhere else, they called them wet nurses. So that nurturing from the very first moments was gone. So we all come out with these feelings of not being wanted, not being good enough, not being nurtured, not being seen. I'm hoping this is making sense and it's landing with you. Isis, speaking the same truth, says reclaim your magic. Call back the power and what is rightfully yours. We are a whole in ourselves. By ourselves, we're pretty powerful. When we connect with all parts of ourselves, including the pieces that were put on the back burner or shunned or pulled away, or someone said you cannot be that way, call them back into being. Louise Hay has a daily diary. And for today, she says, I put my best foot forward. I look and feel great. I am ready for life. And I know that the universe loves me. Now, if any part of that statement doesn't sit right, go back through it. Rewind it. Revisit it. Return to it. Now, the interesting part about this is the tarot card for today is a little bit awkward. It's the 7 of Swords. And in this image, we see a hawk acting more like a magpie, carrying away 5 swords in his claws. And then there's a little moon dangling from his beak. Now, the hawk takes a look sadly at the 2 swords stuck in the ground that he wasn't able to get. So he's thinking, I'm going to come back for it later. This is talking about greed. Let me get as much as I can. Let me pull all this in. But the fact is, he's overloaded himself and he's got to beat the wings frantically hard to stay up in the air while being weighed down by his ill-gotten gains. So, the Seven of Swords, or the Seven of Air, is an experience that every time we try to get away with something that we know we shouldn't get away with, whether it be a pen we thought we would take home from the office or something more consequential, our spirit for that matter, like the noble hawk is diminishing his own power by carrying out unethical acts. So we may be asking ourselves, what are we trying to get away with? What wool are we trying to pull over our eyes? What lie are we trying to tell ourselves? That's what this card is about. Balancing the two sides of our soul. Balancing where we have denied ourselves the love, where we have denied ourselves the manifestation, where are we denying ourselves our power, where are we just denying what we are really due and owing. We can all get tangled up in these conversations. But at the end of the day, we have to let go of what isn't working and move on. Many, many, many times when we quickly let go and we quickly move on and we just dump it, it always works out well anyway. What's meant, everything that's meant for our highest good is not going to pass us by. It doesn't. It can't. And there is a power greater than you and I physically at work 24/7, making sure that our wants and our dreams and our desires are being met. But it gets a little exacerbating when you turn around and like, I'm not sure I want it. Oof, I'm not sure I need that now. Let's see what the fairies have to say. I checked in with Gertrude and Beatrice. They were in their woodland hollow, stringing up lights. So they said they're now under the cover and the canopy of leaves, which are trees that are in full leaf, and they are just glorious. They said they're getting ready for, and it's way off, midsummer. Laughter. Now, what's interesting about this card, you watch me shuffle this. Now, I shuffled this early and said, give me a blessing for my day, and laughter came out. I put the deck back together, I just shuffled again, give a card for everybody else, and laughter came out. So, they're just saying, have joy, have laughter. In our lives, we have to have that balance. I think that's what the diplomacy is all about. We've lost the ability to have a damn good giggle. I'm all about that. I really am. Particularly in a world that I don't really recognize, I recognize the world is getting kinder. It's getting lighter, it's getting brighter. But the power of the people is showing up too much, trying to bring other people down. Where is the laughter in your life? Throw your head back, hold your belly, hold onto your belly and have a good giggle. Manifesting laughter by recalling a time in your life when you had a good laugh, when you were with people that you just couldn't stop, you kept on tittering. And if you want an affirmation for today, I love to laugh. It's appropriate for me to do so. Laughter is beneficial for my mind, my body, and my soul. It is. It really, truly is. Find something comical. I've told the story before, and it makes me giggle. My mother and my grandmother used to go take these day trips on the bus because neither one of them drove, and I was a little boy. And I remember, well, I don't know if it was my mum. I know it was my grandmother. She did this all the time. She had a friend called Ina Stockley, and they used to sit on the bus bench somewhere, just chit chat, and they'd see somebody go by, right? And they would study the person going by, didn't necessarily know them, and they would point out any oddities about the person, the hair, the clothes, the shoes, the way they were carrying themselves. Just, I don't know, it was a little judgy, but it was rather comical because they took this how could they do something like that? What makes them think this, and what makes them think that? And do you think that that bag goes with that hat? Just silliness. And the two of them would just go into fits of the giggles by watching somebody and making comments about them. And then they'd either ride the bus, ride the train, and they would recall the image of whatever person that they had studied with whatever oddity was going on and giggle. It's the same as little children. When children have something happen that is like, oh, a whoopsie-daisy, typically they get up, dust themselves off, have a good giggle, and go on. Laughter is what lifts the vibration up. And let me tell you something, this entire planet seems to have lost the ability to have a good giggle. So find something in your day-to-day, laugh about it, find fun in it, just have a good time. Until tomorrow, I love you. Bye for now.